I wasn't really nervous about whether or not I was going to win the award. It was just if I had to get up there, then I was going to have to talk on a stage and everything. So that's more what I was worried about.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is another off-season edition of the best podcast available. We thank you, we welcome you, and we hope that you are having a fantastic off-season. The best podcast available is presented by Bullseye Event Group. For award-winning game day experiences, visit bullseyeeventgroup.com. I am Andrew Siciliano. I am dressed like an extra in a Rat Pack movie. I have a pinstriped suit on. That is Jason Gibbs. Gibby,
I am slumming it, wearing a nice quarter-zip pullover that might be 6 years, 7 years old.
Wow.
And, a year ago I didn't fit in it. Now I'm back.
Hey!
So,
amazing.
like, baby steps here, baby steps. Now, it will all go to hell in a handbasket next week when we go to Indy and I eat 5,000 calories a day with Zagura, but, you know, it is what it is.
As we sit down here to tape this pod, and I am off at NBC doing the Olympics here. That's why I'm in this pinstripe suit. I literally just got upset.
You look good. I like it.
Well, thank you. Let me tell you something.
I think I want that in the booth on Sunday.
Let me tell you something. You did not pay for that team-issued pullover. I did not pay for this suit. But I like it.
It looks good.
It's a good-looking suit. Anyway, as I sit down, I get a text from Zagura saying, hey, like, Elmo's reservation, like, hey, like, he's planning, and I love it. Like, we are ready for the combine. We are ready for shrimp cocktail. We are ready for steaks. We are ready for, schmoozing, rubbing elbows, and, more importantly, talking to Andrew Berry, because all the coaches in GM speak, Andrew Berry and Todd Monken. And for the record, because I've been getting some social, is it Monken? It's Monken. Gibby, you have the official ruling here?
Rhymes with Duncan.
Got it.
Monken.
Monken.
That is what I was told.
Okay, so imagine you're Duncan something. Get it?
Exactly.
Monken. Cool.
So if I had $1 for every time I've mispronounced it, the G-Man would be a very rich human being.
How do you know he's not?
In other words. But there was no jar, so I'm off scot-free.
This is true. In all seriousness, we are enjoying getting on the road next week for the Combine. And I should also say that Carson Schwesinger is on this pod. He's going to join us in about 10 minutes. The Defensive Rookie of the Year will be here on this show live from California in about 10 minutes. And when we get to the Combine, it is important to hear from the head coach, obviously filling out the coaching staff, and the general manager. The Browns have their 2 first-round picks, 6 and 24, coming up on the night of April 23rd. So that is a big reset. And obviously, with the new league year beginning on March 11th, that's when free agency begins.
Is that legal
there's
tampering?
A lot of talking. Huh?
Is that legal tampering? I thought that
there
was
is no legal
tampering.
It's not legal tampering. You're allowed to talk. It's not legal tampering. Okay. You're allowed.
I know. I just love it. I've worked you into a shoot 2 minutes into this.
It gets under my skin.
I know.
Listen, we'll have a lot of Browns news next week. And we should, at that point, have official word of their new defensive coordinator. As we sit here today, listen, Gibby and I have read the same reports you have. We've talked to the same people everyone else have. We
may have even seen him in the building.
I'm sorry?
We may have even seen him in the building.
I'm not there, so that's on you.
I am.
Okay. It has been reported that Mike Rutenberg is going to be the new Browns defensive coordinator. Reported. He comes from the Atlanta Falcons. Jeff Ulbrich, the defensive coordinator, and they did work together in New York as well. Under Robert Saleh, Jeff Ulbrich, who is in Atlanta, spoke very highly of him, said he has a PhD in coverage schemes. They run the same system. They run the same wide nine. No, it is not going to be Jim Schwartz. Yes, the Browns still have world-class talent on defense. They still have Myles Garrett. They still have the aforementioned rookie linebacker who is about to join us. They still have Denzel Ward. They still have, although he's set to be a free agent, Devin Bush. They have Grant Delpit. They have Tyson Campbell. They have Alex Wright. They have plenty of talent. Malik Collins, back from injury, fingers crossed, is still under contract for another year. It's going to be, and we'll have to hear from Mike Rutenberg himself when he is officially announced, assuming he is officially announced, give what he wants to do with this defense. But Monken made it pretty clear at his opening press conference 2 weeks ago that he wants to run the same system, and this reported hire seemingly confirms that.
Absolutely. And I will tell you this: you talk about the players coming back. As of this podcast being taped on Wednesday, February 18th, had to double check the date.
18th.
All the position coaches are back too.
Good.
Which, I mean, that's a really big deal. Jason Tarver is going to be back. I saw Tarver's in the hallway. I said, "What do we think?" He goes, "I couldn't be more excited."
Good.
He's very fired up. I feel like the two of them, it's like a Ghostbusters gatekeeper, keymaster. Maybe we shouldn't put them in a room together because I'm not sure how things go, because the energy level from both of them is probably going to be more than a lot of us can handle. But I think it's going to be perfect for our defense. I mean, Brandon Lynch knows of him. Ephraim Bounda has worked with him. There's a lot of crossover, and the coaching staff pretty fired up for this new addition.
Yeah, and I am as well, although I don't know him. I have spoken to a lot of people the last couple of days that do know him. I've had people reach out from Washington. So Mike is from the Washington area. He actually started his career with the franchise then known by another name, but the Washington Commanders. He started on the player personnel side under Joe Gibbs and eventually worked his way up. I got a random text from somebody I had not heard from in a long, long time after this news got out, just unsolicited, saying, "Love him, have known the guy for 30 years. You guys are going to love him." That's great. I reached out to somebody that knew him at UCLA and has been in the same building with him in the NFL as well. Said the exact same thing. So, listen. These are people reaching out to me unsolicited. The proof is going to be in the pudding when they actually get out there week 1 in September.
Yeah, but
not only
I like him.
Go ahead.
He's a lot like our head coach, Tom Monken. He worked his way up. He had to scrape and claw for everything, and he finally gets a chance to be a coordinator in the National Football League. And I'm really excited to see what he can do.
There are a lot of people out there that say, well, he's got to win the room over. He has big shoes to fill. Yeah, all those are true. But that's the same for any coach walking in to a new situation, for any coordinator walking in to a new situation. Everybody in the room is going to be looking at the new teacher. We've all been there in school going, all right, who is this guy? Let me size this guy up. Yeah. So it would be the same way. And change. The only thing that is constant in the National Football League is change. And that when the season ends, whether you get knocked out in the regular season, whether you get knocked out in the postseason, whether you win the Super Bowl, the people in that room will never be the same. Change is inevitable. So the Browns are going to have to change not only with their head coach, but with their defensive coordinator as well, and their offensive coordinator at that. So Mike Rutenberg is going to come in, and they're going to hopefully run the same system, and he is going to not just use the talent there, but potentially make the talent better. You can be the number 1 defense in the NFL, right? You can actually get more sacks next year. You can get more interceptions next year. Tyson Campbell can get a full season and become a Pro Bowler. Denzel Ward can go back to the Pro Bowl. Myles Garrett can break his own record, single season sack record. Matter of fact, he's already on record saying he is going to go do that. So I'm excited. We're probably not going to hear from him at the Combine. I don't know for certain, but usually that is just a head coach, and a
TBD. We're working on some stuff.
Okay, there you go. And a GM thing, but most coaches are there. So maybe by the next time we speak at the Combine, we will have an official announcement of a defensive coordinator. I can tell you this right now with certainty, that last year with the 33rd overall pick, the Browns took a linebacker from UCLA, and he turned into the defensive rookie of the year. He is your defensive rookie of the year, and he is on the best podcast available. Carson Schwesinger, it's been a minute. Congratulations, man. How are you? Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me. I'm doing good.
Where's the trophy?
That's a good question. I think they still probably got to send it. I think the one they use there is just, the same for everybody. They just cycle it through. So I'll hopefully get that sent over at some point.
Wait, seriously? This is like really inside baseball here. Like you had the same trophy Miles had and Matthew Stafford had and everyone had.
I might be wrong. That's just what it seemed like. There's no name on it or anything, so maybe.
That's pretty funny. That's good details, man. That's good behind the scenes stuff. Has it sunk in yet? I think kind of the second half of the season, we all knew it was going in this direction because you were playing your what off. But it's one thing to think it's going to happen. It's another thing to be up there.
Yeah, I think I wasn't really nervous about whether or not I was going to win the award. I was just, if I had to get up there, then I was going to have to talk on a stage and everything. So that's more what I was worried about, but was able to go up there and, at least not sound terrible. So, but no, it was a great experience, especially to have my family there. And then I thought it was pretty cool. My dad ended up getting to read the name off, which was cool too.
Yeah, I was going to get to that because that's what I would have been nervous about. My dad up there.
I'm happy it was him. I would have been nervous if it was my mom up there. She can definitely talk a lot more, but so that would have been interesting to hear whatever she decided to say. But it was cool.
So you thought mom would have told some ridiculous story?
There would have been some story there that I probably wouldn't have wanted to have everyone hear, but thankfully it was dad up there.
What was the after party like? Was there an after party?
It was just dinner with the family, and because the whole family was there, which is cool. We don't get to be able to get all there, so I had all 5 siblings there for that, and got dinner with them and just hung out with them.
That's cool. That's really cool. Family affair. You got 40 of the 50 votes, Carson. There is an angry Seahawks contingent in my timeline, right? Because everyone's tweeting about you when you won it Thursday night. But there's this angry Nick Eamon worry contingent. He had a great year. Don't get me wrong. The voting is done at the end of the regular season. Playoffs aren't included. Are those people in your timeline?
Probably timeline, DMs, whatever you want. I don't really either check or pay attention too much. I usually just get, I got the complaints from my mom about people complaining about stuff. But, other than that, like you said, I think, all across all the guys that were up for it had great years. And, just, thankful with how it worked out.
I think the proper answer is you don't care, right?
Yeah.
Why would you?
Yeah, I think that's probably the best. I mean, I kind of just care about going out there and playing football, and whatever comes with it, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And we all saw what came with it. Carson, I remember right after the draft, right? You come to Cleveland, you do the press conference, you and Harold and Quinshon, all those guys, and Dylan, all the guys that weren't picked night number 1. And you and I sat down, and I asked you, are you still going to wear 49, which is what you wore at UCLA? And I said something like, does anyone good ever worn 49? That wasn't a shot at you. It's just hey, uniform numbers, linebackers, 49. And you said, you remember what you said, by the way?
No.
You said something along the lines of, well, I guess that means nobody good has worn it, and we're going to change that. Something like that. Do you remember that?
I probably said something along those lines of, I guess that means, you get a chance to start the trend of good people wearing 49 or something like that.
Does that mean anything to you now?
No, I don't know. It's the number I've worn. I guess I'm sticking with it now. I mean,
of course.
Really, I didn't care too much anyway. But I figured if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And now I kind of like the number.
Good. You should. I think Browns fans like it as well. I know that Luke Kuechly was always a guy that you wanted to model your game after. And I think you guys had a chance to meet, correct me if I'm wrong, during the preseason game. He was there for the Hall of Fame. He got in to the Hall of Fame. Did you get a chance to experience that, talk to him, see any of that?
No, it was pretty busy that night and everything, but I thought it was pretty cool to see just the whole class that got into the Hall of Fame too, because now it's getting to the point where these are guys, who I grew up watching, and
Yeah.
they were, when I was in, fourth, fifth grade watching football, those were the guys who were, the stars on the field. So it's pretty cool to see, how it's progressed now and those guys getting in and everything like that. And then, I thought him specifically, watching him get in was cool too, because that's one of those guys who, as a linebacker, especially, you hope gets in first ballot, whatever. I don't know if that was the case or not, but either way, I think just cool to see. I think, well deserved, and I don't think anybody would disagree.
No, not at all. Nobody would disagree. He's like, he redefined, I don't want to say redefined the position, but when you think of an all-decade team, when you think of a guy that deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, whether it's first ballot or second ballot, Luke Kuechly was the face of the franchise, and he was a badass. He was a perennial All-Pro, and now he is in. Your story, the whole walk-on thing, we've told it 1,000 times. Is there any part, and it's an amazing story, I know you know that, is there any part of you that wants to move past that, like is tired of that being like, oh, the easy go-to story?
No, I mean, I think that's part of the journey that got there. I think sometimes I'll have my friends joke with me that, especially when I was at UCLA, people wouldn't, refer to me as, Carson Schwesinger. It would always be paired with former walk-on Carson Schwesinger, because that's just, what was always associated with it. But I think it's, like you said, it's part of the story. And, for me, I think that just kind of defines, how I got to where I'm at. And it's one of the things that, I keep with me, and the chip on the shoulder that people talk about. I think it was there before I was a walk-on, but I think that, kind of hardened it and molded into what it is now, and kind of just continued to build me into the player I am now.
Isn't that really the key? Is that chip, that motivation that got you here, to make sure that you still keep that fire burning? The awards are nice, but man, there's year 2 as well.
Exactly. I think that's the thing, is just never being, complacent or happy with where I'm at. I think for me, looking back on the year, obviously I think there's great plays and stuff in there, but the ones I'm focused on are the ones where I'm thinking, okay, this is what I got to do better here. This is what I got to do here. And just really, trying to keep growing and find all the ways to get better, and really, take the next steps moving forward. And I think that's, how I've been my whole life, and really, being able to keep that is what's got me here, and, not losing sight of it is what keeps, me going.
All right. What is year 2? Like you said, you got stuff you got to get better at. What does year 2 look like for Carson Schwesinger?
I think it's just, continuing to take the steps. I think, rookie year, you come in and you got to learn everything, and figure out who you are in the league and everything like that. And I think if you watch week 1 versus week 18, week 16, whatever, I think there's big steps. And I think I was just, getting better each week. And so that's really the mindset coming in, is not only just, once the season starts too, but really taking the OTAs, taking training camp, and being able to look each day and be like, all right, I got better each day. And really, I think if that's the goal, and really have those goals where it's something that you can keep attaining every day, it's not, it's essentially not reachable, because I'm just trying to get better all the time. And that's really the goal, to come in and be able to look back after year 2 and say, man, I thought, I knew what I was doing in year 1, but really from what I know now, and what I was doing this year, and then really, then you go into year 3 and it's the same thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you didn't know what you're doing year 1, then look out. I guess I think we'd all say for year number 2. Finally, man, have you been watching the Winter Olympics at all?
Here and there. I haven't seen too much. I get the updates. My older brother's a big Olympics guy, so I'll get stuff here and there from it.
Okay, well, there's a purpose to my question. Is there a winter sport that you think you can medal in?
Oh, I mean, right now, no, but I think if I had, is hockey part of it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I've never played hockey in my life, but if I was playing since I was little, I think that's what I would say. I'd probably enjoy it too. It seems like a whole lot of fun. I love watching it, and so I always wish that I played it growing up.
Okay, but would you be like the frontline goal scorer, or would you be the guy just wrecking dudes?
Both. I like to score, but I don't think I could resist sometimes. wrecking some people on the ice.
Yeah, like full speed ahead of Carson Wentz in London kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, sign him up. Team USA. He gets Defensive Rookie of the Year. Maybe the Winter Olympics in 2030 are in the French Alps, or the Pyrenees rather. So you got 4 years to do it, man.
Yeah. All right. I'll get
All
on
right.
the ice. There's plenty of it in Cleveland.
Yeah, there you go. Carson, thanks for taking the time, man. Congratulations again. Hope you get some time off and some vacation somewhere, and we'll see you back in Berea sometime soon.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
The great Carson Schwesinger. Thank him for joining us today on the best podcast available. Also thought it was pretty interesting, Gibby, that he said that they gave him just like a blank award. I mean,
yeah.
You know how the sausage is made.
I have to give this back?
Yeah.
Where's the one with my name on it?
That's so wild. Like for MVP, like does Matthew Stafford get a blank one as well?
So like all the photo ops, like with Miles and the trophy, and then Carson with the trophy.
I don't know, man.
Were those just fakes?
I don't know. We'll investigate it. I'll investigate and get back to you.
There we go.
Last week we had a David Njoku social media post saying thank you and goodbye. We have one today as well from Wyatt Teller. Kind of, sort of, much like David, knew that this was probably the end. Wyatt Teller was heading into free agency. His name was bandied about at the trade deadline, but he and his wife Carly have taken to Instagram and to social media to say goodbye to Cleveland. I'm looking down because literally as we're doing the show, he posted it. Said, I wish things were different, and this is hard to put into words. When Buffalo traded me to Cleveland 7 years ago, I never could have imagined how much this city would mean to me. Ultimately, the Browns took a chance and changed the trajectory of my life forever. He goes on to thank the best fans in the NFL, thanks Northeast Ohio and the community. His family is blessed to have played here and to have been here. Go Browns. Cleveland will always have a special place in our hearts with love and pancakes. Bleep and love that.
Anything less from him.
Wyatt Teller. Let's say this about Wyatt. Last year didn't go well. I think Wyatt would probably admit that it wasn't his best year on the field. The whole benching thing and working in with Tevin Jenkins was what it was. He wasn't happy about it. He certainly made that clear. But it was one of the best trades that the Browns have made in recent history. They gave up like a 5 and a 6 for Wyatt and a 7. That was a John Dorsey trade. That was a steal. He turns into a 3-time Pro Bowler. When he and Ethan Posick and Joel Bitonio were rolling in 2020 and 2021 and the playoff season in 2023, they were road graders. Like our friend Brian Baldinger would do a weekly video about how Wyatt Teller and Poe and Joel on the left side were just mauling people. Wyatt Teller is a bad you-know-what. And he gave his heart and soul, gave his heart and soul to this team. We're going to miss David, certainly. Going to miss Wyatt. They're much different players, but you can't write the story of the last how many ever years of Cleveland Browns football and the identity that I think all of us love, the running the football, the Nicholas Jamal Chubb, we're going to run right at you, Cleveland Browns, without Wyatt Teller at right guard. Carly, love her as well. She's fun. And she's awesome on social media, too, by the way. And, you knew it was coming. We're going to miss him, and I wish Wyatt the best of luck. And Carly, for that matter, both of them, the entire Teller family.
Yeah.
All the best.
I've had some phenomenal interactions with him. We all have. I mean, that's on the air, off the air. I mean, what you see is what you get with Wyatt Teller. There's no beating around the bush, and I love him for it. I've had some great interviews. I know our good friend Ken Carman on the University Hospitals Cleveland Browns radio network. Some of the stuff we've taped, just the hunting. It was basically
the hunting and fishing
special.
Stuff is great.
Yeah, when he had the gator over his arms, when he went gator hunting, that's who Wyatt is, and Wyatt is his heart's as big as he is, and it sucks. It's the business of the National Football League, and that we talked about it last week, that there was going to have to be some tough decisions. We saw it with David Njoku. We're seeing it with Wyatt Teller, and I know he will go on and continue on what has become a really, really good career for a guy that we traded for, if I'm correct, between the final preseason game and week 1 of the regular season when we made that trade. John Dorsey was like, yeah, we traded for an offensive lineman. And he came in and talked, and he walked away, and we were like, there's something about him. Like, I think he's going to fit in here, and I think he might play. And boy, did he play for 7 years, and he gave it his all.
He did. Native Virginian, much like myself, we connected on that stuff. I'm going to miss the guy. It really was a good trade, number one. And number two, I think it's also, as the Browns are going to need to rebuild their offensive line. We know that. We talked about that. We're going to talk about the entire offseason. It is a reminder that sometimes a second or a third stop for offensive linemen, guys that were really thought of highly coming out of college. Wyatt wasn't a first-round pick, but, he was a good select. I think it was a third-round pick. Sometimes it doesn't work at the first stop, and it does work at the second stop, right? Like for Austin Corbett, the other way around. It didn't work for Corbett with the Browns. He was a second-round pick. He got to L.A., it worked there. He got to Carolina, he built a career, right? There are so many stories in the NFL about players where, for whatever reason, and you see this so much on the offensive line, it doesn't work, but it works for them somewhere else. And the Browns are going to have to turn over some of those stones, I think, to rebuild their offensive line. It's not just going to be 4 rookies they draft on days 1, 2, and 3. It's not going to be some necessarily high-priced free agent, a left tackle. I don't know if it is or it isn't, but there are other ways to build an O-line, my point being, other than high draft picks and big free agent money.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to have to put together a lot of pieces, and we're still waiting on Joel Bitonio. It sounds like now that the Bitonio decision's been pushed back a few weeks till the start of free agency and that little tampering period. We wait and see what happens with Joel here over the next couple of weeks. Will he stay? Will he retire? Will he be somewhere else as well? Something to watch here. And DeJuan Jones is in the building every day rehabbing, but you're going to need a lot more depth at tackle, and inside you're going to need a lot more too. And I mean, it's the whole offensive kind of rebuild starts with those 5 on the offensive line.
Gibbe, as I bid adieu and wish you safe travels, and we will see each other in Indianapolis, I want you to train for the cocktail sauce. I want you to train for the horseradish.
I'm good. Bring it on.
Good. Me as well.
Now, I'm not Zagura who dips and
Oh, I do.
There's 5 pounds of
Absolutely.
it. No. And we almost killed Bishop the one year with it.
You've seen the bit I did with Joe Thomas on the network years ago, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, where Joe literally has the sweat rolling down his face on television. Yeah. We should do that. We should do that
for the
bit.
week. I believe they have made it known. It kicks up a notch here this coming week. So
they do, and I look forward to it. I look forward to seeing you there. I look forward to bringing you guys a bunch of pods from Indianapolis. That's Jason Gibbs. I'm Andrew Siciliano, and this is the best podcast available, presented by Bullseye Event Group. For award-winning game day experiences, visit bullseyeeventgroup.com. Road trip. See you later, everybody.